Welcome to the first episode of At the Bar. I'm Brad Marshall. Today I'm joined with Amanda Street. She goes by Street, so thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's kick it off with telling us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Street, and that's my last name and my hood name. I am an owner of a CrossFit affiliate. I love fitness and sports, and I love dogs. Pretty simple. I like to do like adventurous stuff, like to snowboard, and from West Virginia. Very proud of it, so I like to go back home and do lots of recreational stuff, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So the goal of these episodes is to really talk about health and fitness as well as mindset. So tell us a little bit about your health and fitness journey to this point.
I've always been involved in sports. So growing up, I played basketball, soccer, ran track. I did a little bit of softball, but as I got into high school, I focused mainly on basketball. So then I was lucky enough to get a scholarship to play at Division II school. Played when I was finished playing basketball and I decided I was going to go on and get a master's degree. I was like super lost because I'd been on a team my entire life and I just didn't know what to do, and just working out without some sort of goal was difficult. So I started to play rugby. I went out, started playing on a local team, and just picked it up naturally. And after that, really focused on it and started to play on a higher level, and eventually played with the U.S. team. And through rugby, I found CrossFit, and because it kind of had that same like team atmosphere, and I fell in love with it. And I studied exercise science, so all of my favorite things were just kind of rolled up in one. And I just hung with it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when you think about the different stages of playing sports to rugby to CrossFit, did your idea or how you think about health and fitness change along that timeline?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, as a basketball player, I was really just kind of focused on more of the skill. You know, like I would spend a lot of my time working on ball handling, and that was what many of my workouts included. Like it would be like, oh, you know, you do some bench press, whatever, and then like a ball handling drill. And so when I switched over and I started to play rugby, which was more of this like endurance effort, I was like, what do I need to eat? Like I'm going to have to fuel for games, I'm going to have to fuel for training. And a lot of things changed for me, like sleeping more, just taking care of my body, stretching. As a basketball player, I don't think I stretched at all. If I did anything, it was like leg swings before and then, okay, I'm going to go play a game. And I'm sure some of that just comes with age too, but rugby was a sport that was so challenging and so physically demanding that if you didn't take care of yourself, it was very noticeable. So I changed, got a little smarter, started to take care of myself more. And then when I started doing CrossFit after rugby, it was the same thing. I didn't really lose any of those aspects of being really healthy, drinking enough water, getting enough sleep, that sort of thing. I wanted to feel good.
Yeah.
You know.
And having a background in exercise science and owning a gym and helping athletes there, when you think about health and fitness, how would you define it, or what does that mean to you, especially as you work with other folks and helping them along their health and fitness journey?
Health and fitness to me is really like being able to live your life. See like how you want to live it, right? Not being impeded by not having enough strength or not having enough endurance to do something. And that to me is health and fitness, and just taking care of yourself and saying like, if you want to be able to take a trip and let's just say, you know, you've got to walk a lot. I mean, a lot of people say, man, Disney World is a good example. Mm-hmm. I like walked 13 miles at Disney World. Well, if you were someone who was not in shape, would you be able to take that trip, right? And when people ask me to go do something, like if somebody says, let's go whitewater rafting, or let's go hiking, let's go biking, something like that, a lot of people would have to say no. They'd be like, oh man, I don't want to do that, or I don't think I can do that. And you miss out on so many opportunities. Not only that, health and fitness is just your ability to prepare for something bad, right? Like, let's say, unfortunately, you maybe get in a car accident or you get sick or something like that. The more primed and healthy your body is, the more likely you are to survive that sort of event and then recover from it faster. So to me, health and fitness is like, how can we be the best human that we can be?
Interesting. I like how you mentioned that as really just for life in general, because I think sometimes when people see CrossFit or what's going on in the gyms here, they see weights moving around, people crawling on the floor, and it's like that's their idea of health and fitness is like, are you dead after a workout? But your definition seems to be a little different than that, which is interesting.
Yeah.
How does that come out here at the gym that you own?
Well, first off, we don't let anyone crawl on the floor. We don't let them lay down. And that's been something that's very important to me. I have a few reasons why I don't allow that. One is if something is actually wrong, I would like to know it. So if everyone always looks like they're dying on the floor and one day somebody is actually having an issue, I want to know it and be able to react to it very fast. The other reasons would be it's basically saying that you're justifying this workout by collapsing on the floor, right? And it can't always be that cut and dry. Like if we are pushing the limits, the workout's done, you should still be able to walk. You should still be able to get yourself out of the room or not lay flat on your back. And it sends the right message that you are able to handle this, that you are tough, that you have done this before, and you're not just like surrendering to this workout or justifying your hard work by flopping around on the ground. The other thing is that I don't like to send a message to anybody that I've been like killed by something.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that comes from rugby. Yeah. You know, if you look across at your opponent and their hands are on their knees and their head is down, like that just sent me the message that I'm going to own you now. You know, so like no matter how tired I am or whatever, I still want to be like upright and like I'm here, I'm good, like we're good. And I want everyone to feel that way and feel confident in the workout and know that they don't have to lay on the ground. I understand that sometimes you physically can't get up for a second, and that's fine. Yep. But there's definitely a difference in my mind of I need a moment, and I'm recovering, and I'm going to stand up, or I'm going to make some movement to start moving again. That's different than just like I'm splayed out on the floor, and I'm just going to roll around here so that people know I worked hard.
Yeah.
So I think there's a big difference between that.
Something I heard you say there is talking about this idea of resilience and overcoming challenge and having some level of confidence. And I think it's interesting when you look at how impactful health and fitness can be on one's mindset and the way they take that, not just in the gym, but outside of the gym. So maybe walk us through a little bit of how has your time and your journey going through sports and working through different types of exercises impacted your mindset in terms of like your confidence, your ability to bounce back, things like that?
It's been huge. I mean, even just like growing up, I remember not being very confident, and really being concerned about what people thought of me, or maybe what I was wearing, what my hairstyle was like, what I look like. And I think everybody goes through that, obviously. But sports gave me something to work at and be good at. And it gave me challenges to actually be successful. So when I started to have some success, I felt like I was capable or that I could do other things. Even just stuff related to school or work. I remember being in grad school and having like a really tough semester. And also during that same semester, I was having to go train for the U.S. team. And there was 2 like really big events. And I remember thinking to myself, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do both things at once. And I did it. And after that, I was like, I feel like I can do just about anything. And this was like taking, 5-hour trips to DC to practice with a team, coming right back to Raleigh to take a huge test. And I was like, if I can do this, I can do anything. And I remember my first CrossFit competition. I was super nervous, and I was like, I don't think I can do this. And somebody said, well, you know what, Street? At least no one's trying to tackle you right now. Like, you're just doing fitness, and you're not going to be tackled. And I thought, oh, that's so true. Like, I don't have to worry about that. Like, I just got to go. And I think for your mindset, like, when you do difficult things, other things that come at you, you're like, I've done this before. I've been in these situations, and I can take pieces from those other situations and make this one better. So I can learn from it and move on. And I think that that's huge for your confidence, and that's huge just for your mental toughness in general, because, if you kind of put yourself into the uncomfortable zone, you kind of get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So
I love that. And the idea of stretching yourself. And if we only stay inside our comfort zone, probably not going to grow or maybe get some of the results we'd like, put ourselves in those challenging positions. And one of those things you said there of, I can do difficult things. That's one of the most powerful statements I think people can say and then actually have some belief in. But the only way you can say that and actually have some credit is if you put yourself in difficult situations,
right.
which it sounds like you've had a chance to do.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about some of the most maybe impactful or important mental skills you've developed from your time in sport, CrossFit, what would you say those are?
I think the one I probably employ the most is like self-talk. Okay. I definitely will talk to myself about what I'm going to do, what it's probably going to feel like, and just kind of like, it's almost like a speech to myself. Mm-hmm. Like if I was coaching someone and what I would tell them, I try and tell it to myself. And then there's also the self-talk of like when things are getting tough. Like I'm recognizing that they're getting tough and I'm just telling myself it's going to be over soon and you just have to stay in it. I just stay in the fight, and this is going to pass. Mm-hmm. And that's been very helpful. And other things that I'll try and do if I sense that, you feel your heart rate getting really high, you feel like I'm starting to get overexcited, I'll take some breathing during the workout. I'll just take a moment to get like 3 good breaths, and then I'll get back to work. But I won't rest too long. Yeah. I feel like there's a happy medium between I can get 2 to 3 good breaths in, and anything longer than that, my body's starting to realize how bad it feels, and I'm like, oh no, this is too long a rest. So those are just a few tricks that I'll use during workouts or during any sort of competition. Yeah.
It sounds like there's almost a systematic approach to that for you. So I'm curious, is that something you kind of picked up on your own, or is that something that working with somebody you helped learn, or how did you go about learning and acquiring some of these skills?
A little bit of both. I think I just evolved as an athlete of figuring out when I had a good performance, the things that I did that helped. And then we were lucky enough, once I got on the U.S. team, that we had sports psychologists on staff who was super helpful. And we just had really educated people around us who could give us great tips and tricks and things like that. And some of them I would try and I was like, this isn't working for me. And then I would know that and I would just switch and try another method. And now as I've gotten older, I feel like I've done this enough and been in these situations that it's kind of just part of the warm up. I'm warming up my mind for something just like I'm warming up my body.
Yeah, I'm sure that comes through as a coach and working with athletes and whatnot. So awesome. Well, I want to transition. We're going to do a little bit of a lightning round now, just help people get to know you a little bit better. So ask you some questions. I just want you to say first thing that comes to mind. Some of them would be a little bit either or maybe one word. Okay. So we'll start with, what is your preferred time to work out during the day?
I love lunchtime fitness.
Lunchtime
I'm a middle of the day type person. I'm definitely not a morning person.
Okay. Yeah. Individual workouts or team workouts?
Team.
Mm-hmm. All right. What is your favorite movement or fitness exercise that you would say right now?
I love toes to bar.
Toes to bar. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's where we're hanging from a rig and bringing our feet all the way up to the bar.
Yeah.
Nice. And then we'll finish it with this. If there's one thing you could say, whether it's a form of encouragement or something to somebody who's maybe interested in improving their health and fitness or working on their mindset, what would be something you might share with them?
That there's no wrong way. You just got to start. Everyone's going to be different. You can read 1,000 things on the internet. You can listen to 1,000 people talk. You've got to find what you enjoy. And you've got to just take the steps to be consistent, right? It's just going out there and finding some way to enjoy it. And before you know it, it can be life-changing.
Yeah, I love that. Find what works for you and then stick with it. Mm-hmm. Well, thanks for being with us on the show today, Street. Appreciate it. If you want to catch more of At the Bar, like and subscribe below. We'll be putting out content with different athletes from CrossFit Shoofly. Thanks for joining us.